Welcome to part 4 of our farm shop build. If you've been following along, you know that with the last video that I did, we were doing the framing, we had set the trusses, and as you can see, I am standing inside the building. So I'm going to take you around the outside and show you what we did out there, and then bring you back inside and show you the different things that we did on the inside so far. In the last video, we had the trusses set, purlins on, and fascia. And that was just about Christmas time, and then it got really cold. And we didn't do anything much because of the freezing rain. The purlins were covered in ice. But being on the ground, first thing that I did with the help of my son, and also over us, is we got the black wainscoting on all the way around the building. And then I ordered the white steel, and then we put the white steel up along the eave as well. I'll go around to the other side. This is the other side, and we have a 14-foot wide by 12-foot tall. This is going to be an overhead door framed in, and window and a door. The door is to go into the shop. That's the entrance door. The window needs to be painted white. It was a $10 special. It's a good window, but somebody had repainted it gray. That gray just doesn't fit in with everything else, so I'm gonna have to mask it off and paint it white when it gets a little bit warmer. All right, on to the south gable. This would be the south gable, and this looks towards my house and out into the field. And as you can see, we have white windows here. And we also did black J-channel trim around the windows and black corner posts. Up above, we've got black, everything's black on the roof, your drip edge, your rake cover, and also the steel roof. Now I'm not either 46 anymore. I'm 67 years old, and I just really did not want to get up on that roof. So at this point, when we had this much done, I hired a couple of young fellows to put my roof on, and they had it done in probably 12 hours. So I did get a little bit of footage of them putting the roof steel on, and it amazed me that these two young guys were able to do this so fast. I know that if I would have been doing it at my age, it probably would have took me several days. So I'm gonna get to the footage of them putting up the roof steel.
Looks pretty good up there. Yeah,
After the roof was completed, Jeff and I got on this last gable end and finished it up. Got the siding on, the track cover, the track. What I've got to do yet is put a sliding door in. It's going to be a split door. The door is 16 foot wide, 14 foot high, but it'll be split in half, so each door will be 8 foot wide and 14 foot tall. The door package is on the trailer, and we'll be getting to that shortly. I'm standing inside right now, and you can see the sand has all been leveled off, but I'm gonna cut to some footage that I shot previously. This is Hallenbeck Construction, and they came in and removed the topsoil, and then they brought in all this sand, leveled it off, packed it down, got it ready for concrete. A big hats off, tip of the hat to you folks at Hallenbeck Construction. So on this coming Friday, I have a company coming in that is going to pour my floor, concrete floor, halfway. From this point, this way, will be a concrete floor. From this point, that way, we're going to bring in some asphalt millings and have that put in. There's no sense, in my mind, to concrete the whole thing when I've got tractors and equipment that's leaky. I really don't want them leaking onto concrete, so if we're working on them, that's one thing, but if they're just sitting in the barn, they can sit on the asphalt millings. When I do get the concrete poured, I want to put some kind of an epoxy down so when the tractors do drip oil, planter drips oil, whatever drips oil, we can wipe it up. The best fix would be to make sure that these tractors don't drip, right? But I think everything has a tendency to drip at some point. I'm going to show you a few things that's on the inside of the barn that might interest you. So we'll be cutting to the trusses, the braces, even the roof steel has got a coating on it that's called drip stop, and I'm going to tell you what that's for. So we're inside the building, and I'm going to show you the bracing that I used. You have to use lateral bracing according to building code by which the truss is designed. And in this case, they wanted a lateral bracing. A lot of people call it a rat run, every 10 foot. And the lateral bracing or rat run is simply, it starts here and it runs the full length of the building all the way to the other end to support and brace the bottom cord. It stiffens up the top too when you're framing it. Then the next thing that I did, because we had some very strong winds, is I ran an angle brace from the top of that post up there on an angle down to the middle rat run or lateral bracing. That way the wind that would blow that would be pushing that barn would be supported by that brace coming back and to these angle braces. We had some really strong winds, in fact, a few weeks ago, we had 3 tornadoes that were in this area. And I came out to check, of course, everything was fine, but there was very little movement on these posts during a very high wind storm that I did come out and look at it. So this angle bracing, this what we call diamond bracing, is a 2x4 that starts in the center of the building and it runs on an angle and comes back to however far you want to stretch your 2x4s out. In this case, I used 2 16-footers and it brought me down to 24 feet. And then from there, ran another angle back again to the center of the barn, as you can see on the other side as well. This just stiffens everything up for the high winds. That was me bumping into a wall. The high winds that we'll get. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna show you this fabric that's put on the bottom side of the steel roofing. It's called drip stop. This might show it a little bit better if I get closer. So what drip stop is, it's a fabric that's on the underside of the steel roofing. And you know how with a regular steel roof, when it's really cold at night and then it warms up during the day, you have condensation? Well, this drip stop gets rid of, I think, pretty much all of the condensation that you would have. It just it's a fabric, so I'm guessing it kind of absorbs it, then wicks it away, so it stays dry. We have a 200 amp service panel. I have run a few electrical lines to some outlet boxes, and also we've got a couple that are designated for like a clock that I've got up on that one. So far we've figured 5 circuits, but I know there's gonna be more, because in this area right here will be where I have my welder, welding table, air compressor, grinder, anvil, just stuff that's metal related that we'll be working on. And then I'm gonna swing around this way here. This will be my shop bench from about 2 foot past that pole right there. We'll go 2 foot that direction, ending up 2 foot past that pole in this direction. I want to keep this corner open because I have a special desk that's going to be going in there. As far as the drain, we have a trench drain. It's already installed, so when the concrete guy comes in to pour, he'll just pour right up to the top of that. It's about an inch below grade at the door. The bottom of that threshold will be the top of concrete. And then of course there'll also be a little bit of fall going out that overhead door area there. Besides the sliding doors, another thing that I've got to get finished up is you can see the daylight along all the edges, the eaves, up the rake. I got soffit and fascia that will complete that. I'll step outside and show you what it will look like from the outside, or what it's gonna look like. Right there, where you see that exposed framing material, that will have soffit, and then we'll have fascia on that 2x6. The whole entire building gets that. They just don't have it for me yet. I've been really lucky that I live within 4 miles of the company that has supplied me with not only the framing lumber, they also custom built these trusses for me. And also all of the steel comes from a factory next to that truss company. So I was able to do the black wainscoting, then get an exact measurement from the top of the wainscoting to the bottom of the soffit area so that I could call in that steel and get it exact. I didn't have to do any cutting on anything. Of course, the old John Deere 50's got its home. So we're getting close to the end of this construction project. Concrete floor, a couple of doors, soffit and fascia, and then I start working on the little details that I want to do, and that's going to be a wall where the concrete and the asphalt millings come together. Be a wall right there so that that end of the shop we can heat it, and this end can just be cold storage. I want to thank not only you, the viewer, that's been watching these videos, and if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and follow along. But I'd also like to thank my family. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to do this. My sons both pitched in and helped. My wife was a constant driver of this to get materials ordered, to get this done. She wanted this building to be built. And then also I've got some great friends that showed up to help me get this done. I couldn't do this by myself. There's no way. It's too big of a project. So I got to thank my friends Jeff, Russ, Tim, Vance, John, the Shoot Boys at Hallenbeck Construction, and Jimmy Garcia, who's going to be pouring the concrete here in a few days. Got to thank you all for jumping in and helping me out. So I'm going to wrap this up, call it a video. I hope you've enjoyed watching it, and I think I'll probably do one more video. I don't know when that will be, and that's when this barn is finally, we're using it. So you can see how I've got things laid out the way that I wanted them to be. So like I say, I'm going to wrap this up, call it a video. I want to thank you for watching, and until the next time, take care and God bless.